Good evening from InvestSharp. This is Randy Smotone with your Wednesday, July the 7th market update. On the economic front, really is pretty much a light day today. I think the biggest concern is, which evidently the concern lifted some today because the huge rally is the stress test in Europe, the European banks, kind of like we went through. So if that goes well, I would think that would bode well for our markets. And until they get further along in that, I consider the market still very high risk here. On deck for tomorrow will be the weekly jobless claims and the EIA petroleum status report and the EIA nat gas report and a couple other smaller type economic reports. The dollar was down today. Gold, silver, copper, oil were up. Light sweet crude futures were up $2.09 to settle at $74.07. Take a look at the UUP, the dollar ETF, headed a little lower. MACD's pretty low here. Might get a bounce at some point. Because the dollar's definitely been falling here. Let's go take a look at the point and figure chart, the West Texas Intermediate crude. So again, we have this price objective of 64 right now on crude. Doesn't mean it'll happen. We are making these higher lows in crude, and we're right here. So we're kind of bouncing between here up. We can't quite break out above this 80 part, around 79.80, and then we're right here. So kind of how that's looking. The Dow closed up 274 points to 10,018, so we broke the 10,000 again. S&P closed up 32 points to 1,060. NASDAQ closed up 65 points to 2159, and the Russell closed up 21 points to 611. The Russell had the larger percent gain at 3.67%. The Dow had the smallest gain, but still up 2.82%. Volume across indices were below average, but they weren't too horrible, better than the day before. But they were still definitely below average. So taking a look here at the Dow, we're still, kind of have a wedge type looking pattern here, a falling wedge where our MACD's, it was higher here than here. So, we're nice bounce. And obviously this was no resistance for us here. We do have 30 overhead, which can be resistance. Might be the next level to look for, maybe 10,100 or so right up in here against it. Could be some resistance at that moving average. And we also have, it looks like the 20 there as well. So that will probably be, could be some resistance for us right around here at these two moving averages here at 10,100 on the Dow. S&P, let's get this first. S&P went flying right past the 1040, 1050 area, which was resistance and not a problem. MACD's pointed back up. I've got a Fibonacci retracement on here. So that's kind of the levels we'll be watching. So this was from the June 21st down to July 1st. So we passed the 38.2% retracement today. So we'll be watching up here around the 1070, then around we'll call it 1085, 1090 for 61.8, etc. So, and again, we have this the moving average. We have the 30 and the 20 right here at 1076, which could be some resistance right there. So we'll be watching for that as well. And then NASDAQ. The NASDAQ, nice big move again, no resistance here. They all look pretty similar. It looks like NASDAQ looks like it's channel down, and of course we could go to up like here and come back down, or here. I don't know how many days we'll bounce from here. Let's see. We got gold. Gold is got a little bit of a bounce today. It's below its moving averages here at below the 50, 30, and 20, looking pretty terrible here, but did finally get a little of a bounce. So MACD's kind of pointed down. We'll see how that holds up. Silver still holding this trend line. MACD's curled back up a little bit, and again it's below its 30. Euro still looking good, up another 0.17% today, right in this area. And the VIX volatility index, another almost about 9.5% came out of it today. I don't know, this trend line from here, touched here, could be bounced here. MACD's roll back over, and obviously we got some resistance around this 3750 to watch to the upside there if the volatility increases. XLF, another looks like is falling wedge, which should wind up being bullish eventually if this is what it is. big move. Banks did pretty well today. You can check out Citi, JP Morgan, Bank of America, and let's see what else. Copper. We'll be watching up here just above the 41, where we've been kind of hitting on this trend line as this downtrend line as resistance. So copper's got a little further to go. That's the area I'll watch for. Let's go take a look at the McClellan index. Oh, that's not what I want. And this is the NYSE McClellan. And we are at basically neutral. We're near zero, so we're just neutral. We're not overbought, we're not oversold, we're just pretty neutral here. So go either way. Over to the sectors. All 16 sectors we follow finished in the green today. The bank index had the largest percent gain at 5.63%. And the biotech index was the weakest again today, actually, but was still up 1%. And semis performed well. Oil services, you can see all these performing pretty well today. So let's go over to Chart Watch. I'm going to go through some charts pretty fast. I have quite a few charts to look at. State Street Bank, huge volume, broke above the, it did run into the 30-day moving average here as some resistance, but it did break above the downtrend line, so you might want to keep an eye on that one. VMware breaking higher today, looks good. Baidu, you know, bouncing up off of its support area, it's looking pretty good here. Lowe's breaking out of this triangle, looking good. Southern Company, another one, huge breakout of this triangle as well. STD, I think that's a disease. Oh, Banco Santander is a you know, big breakout today. Looks like this could be a inverted, you know, head and shoulders bottom here. So keep an eye on that. Another one to watch. AEP. It's got resistance around the 3450 area, but it should have a nice breakout if it can break out above there and volume's picking up. I think there was a lot of short covering and a lot of names today too. Triangle breakout here of Alberto Culver, ACV, another one to watch. Let's see. I just thought this was interesting. EWP, which is the Spain ETF. It broke out today on huge volume, and I assume that was just short covering. I'm sure a lot of people were short, and it was up 6.42%, but it took out these prior two highs here, and I don't know, maybe putting in a bottom. Just thought that was kind of interesting. Not necessarily wanting to play that. FFIV, huge move up. I still don't like the MACD on this one until it shows me something different. ROVI, big breakout today. Bucyrus, watch a breakout above the downtrend line on Bucyrus. It looked like it was in a descending triangle, but of course it can break out and go higher and be bullish. BHI, still looking fine. Teva, not much of a move today, but I still like that it's over the 30-day and it's above that downtrend line, so that looks good. TSO, we talked about this one yesterday as well. Nice move up higher today, looks good. HSP, I talked about that one, it looks good. Yesterday, CRR moving higher, talked about it yesterday. CSX, as long as it can hold this support, volume did pick up, and again, that probably might have been some short covering around down there. NLY, moving higher, looks good. Newmont Mining, as long as it holds that uptrend line, I like it. You know, I've liked Fleur, still like Fleur. It's looking real good. GOLD, still holding up, looks good. Apple, nice big move on Apple up into the 30-day moving average. Allergan still looks fine. CRM, nice bounce, looks good today, big move. Cirrus Logic, all of the big names that popular that everyone chases around, all bounced nice today. Netflix, LXK, I'm still watching this to see if it has resistance up at that 35 or not. I'm just keeping an eye on things for shorting and longs both. Polaris, it's still holding up. It breaks out above the downtrend line. You could probably go long that one. PCP, Precision Cast Parts, it did hold the 102.50 we've been talking about, and as long as it's going to hold there, you could be long that one. Tiffany, I'm going to watch this one as well. It probably has resistance at 40. Win, Not as big of a move up, low volume today, so I'm watching to see if this has resistance around this there after it broke down out of that triangle. TCO, another one I was watching for actual possible short. This could be a wedge pattern that's breaking up out higher, which you could go long, so I'm watching that one as well. WLT, still watching this one just because it moves a lot, and I was wanting to see if it runs into resistance up there around that 69. And CLF, another one I want to see if it runs into resistance up at 50. So, because I'm still keeping an eye on things to reshort if that's what direction we head. All right, over the next few days. So, current market signals, there's no change there. Still have sells on the Dow, Nasdaq, SP. We're gonna have to go up quite a bit higher to change this, and that's really all I have for today. Thanks for watching.